world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Hey! Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong, for the union makes us strong. All right. What do you think? Do we have a good enough crew to begin? Yay? Nay? I'm saying yay. Let me get the live stream moved over. And here we are. Welcome everyone to a strike. Can everyone hear me? Excellent. Usually, I would be Daniel J. Willis, a very formal and professional data journalist for EdSource, but I am on strike today. So I am Danny, some dude wearing a tie-dye shirt. You can't see behind me, but I am in Maui. I put that up for your sake, not mine. I don't want to make you all jealous and hate me. Welcome to our rally. For those of you who don't know me, I am the co-vice chair of the EdSource Guild. I have been with EdSource in various capacities since 2016, which is an amount of time I try not to think of too much. We are on strike today to protest unilateral changes management made to our healthcare benefits, as well as management's lack of progress toward a fair contract. Obviously, before we begin, we do have a physical picket line in front of the office, but you don't go there for your news. Please don't. So please do not cross our virtual picket line. Do not go to edsource.org today. Definitely do tomorrow and every other day. We do amazing work and you should totally visit. But today, absolutely do not. That is our picket line. Don't go to the website. Don't go to anything associated with the website. There is a pledge, which I do not have a link for because I am in Hawaii, and until midnight I was on vacation and not on strike, so I am not as prepared as you would like. Anyway, the EdSource Guild, we were recognized almost a year and a half ago. We've been bargaining for more than 9 months. We still do not have a fair contract offer from management, and I am going to pass it over to one of my bargaining team cohort to take it from here.
My name is Betty Marquez Rosales. I'm a reporter and I'm on the bargaining committee. Instead of a fair contract, EdSource has done a few other things. For one, they have changed our healthcare benefits unilaterally. That has been during a period of status quo. It has effectively raised our co-pays and our deductibles, and they failed to bargain over these changes with the Guild. They have also denied cost of living raises that match how much prices go up. They have opposed adequate sick time for employees to take care of ourselves and our families. They have rejected strong leave of absence policies, leaving journalists unaware or uninformed of our options and depriving us of sufficient time to bond with newborns or to care for ill parents. They have also insisted on weak legal protections that put both reporters and our sources at risk. And among other things, they have also ignored proposals to ensure that artificial intelligence is not deployed in a way that affects the integrity of our journalism. And I'll pass that back to Dania.
Thank you. And I apologize to anyone watching on the live stream. You're hearing a slight echo, and I'm sure that is infuriating. I am working to debug in the background. Look, it's time for management to get serious and offer us fair proposals that show they value us. There's a lot going on in news, especially in education news, and we want to be able to continue to produce the deep, meaningful journalism on California schools. We are a remote workplace with members all over California. Not me currently, but usually I'm in the East Bay. We do have an office space in Oakland. Our co-chairs, Zadie Stavely and Thomas Peel, are there picketing as we speak, and now we cut to them.
I'm the immigration reporter and podcast host at EdSource, and I'm the co-chair of the EdSource Guild. I came to work at EdSource almost 8 years ago. I became an education reporter because I believe strongly in the power of journalism, and I know how important public education is. I went to public schools my whole life, and both of my parents were public school teachers in rural California. I know how much the public relies on EdSource journalism to understand what is happening in our schools. But it is becoming more and more difficult for EdSource reporters to produce that coverage that you all rely on without a fair contract. And management is making it even more difficult. I'll tell you why. A couple of weeks ago, we found out that EdSource management decided unilaterally, on their own, without consulting us, to change our healthcare benefits. The new health plans have higher co-pays, higher deductibles, and in some cases, change the cost of hospitalization from a flat, affordable daily fee to a percentage, which can become extremely expensive if any of us have to be hospitalized. Thank you for your support. Management made this decision without consulting us, and they refused to bargain over it, which the law requires them to do. As long as we don't have a contract, they are required to bargain over any changes. But management wants to ignore us. We have filed an unfair labor practice charge with the National Labor Relations Board, and we are now on strike for the day to tell management that this is not okay. They cannot make decisions without us in the room. And I'm going to start a chant now for all of us to join in. If we're not there, it's not fair. 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 I'm going to pass it now to Thomas Peel, my co-chair.
Hi, I'm Thomas Peel. I'm the investigative reporter for EdSource, and along with Zadie, I'm the co-chair of our Guild unit. I've been an investigative reporter. I had that title for 26 years in my career, and it comes with a responsibility to watchdog public agencies like schools and public university systems, hold them to account when we find things that are wrong, and to give the public some confidence that someone is watching. It gets harder every year to do that work. Just this morning, the journalism advocacy group Reporters Without Borders announced that the United States is now down to the 57th ranking in the world for press freedoms, behind countries like the Dominican Republic, Uruguay, Brazil, Ukraine, which is managing to have a free press in the middle of a war, and Slovenia, among other countries. This is frightful for our democracy and our country, in the supposed land of the free. We have asked EdSource repeatedly in contract negotiations to increase our protections and help us be better protected under the California Shield Law, which allows us certain privileges as journalists to protect sources, to protect our materials, to keep them free from subpoenas, lawsuits, and the like. And it really appears to us that EdSource management does not take that responsibility seriously. We're asking for things in the contract that are not costly. We're asking EdSource management to bring in an expert who we can get for free to come in once a year to update people on protections under the California Reporters Shield Law. We don't get a response to that. We've made a little bit of progress on legal protections with coverage for libel. But one of the first things that any reporter learns in journalism school is how to avoid libel. Like a lot of newsrooms in the digital age now, and a lot of nonprofit and small newsrooms, we rely on third-party vendors for a myriad of services, all of which potentially create discoverable records showing where journalists are, what they're working on, who they're talking to, and also internal deliberate communications within a newsroom that are privileged. We've asked EdSource management to simply help us understand what protections those vendors like Slack and Google have that can help us with a shield law. And we just get no response to those matters. And in the long run, this weakens our journalism, weakens our democracy, and weakens our mission of holding public education systems in California to account.
Back to you, Danny.
Thank you. Let me unpin so that I'm a data journalist. I am not a streaming producer, but if anyone will pay me to do that, I will play video games. Anyway, we are back. I'm here to talk to you about AI. The reason I am running the stream is because I'm a nerd. I follow AI closely. I will spare you my rant on how it's not actually intelligent. It is a language simulator. It cannot write news. It cannot make news because that's not what it does. It tricks people into thinking it's talking. News agencies around the world are trying to use it to make news anyway because it's cheaper. They're getting into trouble every time. It's embarrassing. It's a disaster. Our contract proposal has an AI clause in it. It not only protects us as the workers from having our jobs taken, it protects EdSource as a company from making mistakes on AI because everyone else is doing it without people like me, like my colleagues who are also following it, to be more voices in the room, because we care about EdSource. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't. And we don't want to see them make a mistake. We don't want to see them ruin their own credibility any more than we want to see them ruin ours. They have not meaningfully engaged with that. And that's very frustrating to me because every day another news organization just torpedoes their goodwill with their readers. And here we are getting the same answer, that for some reasons which were never fully explained to me, we cannot use our proposal. I will not go on more of a rant. Instead, I will pass it to my colleague Michael Burke to talk about healthcare.
I think we wanted to do a chant though, Danny.
Oh, you are right. I don't know chants. News not slop. Everyone ready? News not slop. 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 All right. I'm not a big chanter. Now I kick it off to Michael.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Burke. I cover higher ed for EdSource, and I am also the secretary for the EdSource Guild. So several of us have spoken about why we're here today, which is to protest management making unilateral changes to our health insurance without bargaining. But we also need to make sure that protections for our healthcare are written into the contract. So we want a commitment that we have at least a gold level plan available for all members. And we also want management to commit in the contract to not increasing our copays, deductibles, or premiums for dependents without bargaining over it with the Guild. And I'm going to pass it to Justin, who's going to talk about sick time.
Hi there, I'm Justin, the Web Design and Development Manager in EdSource. And currently we get 10 days of sick time a year each. My management is currently proposing 12, but that's simply not enough for our members. Some of our members have used up all their sick time because of chronic illnesses and are now forced to take unpaid time off work. The Guild wants to increase the number of sick days we get each year to be in line with other nonprofit newsrooms, and also set up a sharing system so we can donate sick days to each other when in need. So far, management has just refused that sort of sharing system. Passing that back to Danny. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my turn to lead a chant.
Too.
What do we need? Sick time. When do we need it? Now.
What do we need?
What do we need? Sick time. When do we need it? Now. What do we need? Sick time. When do we need it? Now. Now back to Danny.
Okay, now it's me. Hey, if I had to do the chant, you do too. Neither of us are chanters. He's the other nerd I mentioned earlier. I'm talking about parental leave. Ironic because I don't have kids. No, I can barely take care of myself. But many of us do have kids, and some of us have had kids while we were on staff. Our proposal included a comprehensive package that includes paid parental leave, which EdSource did not want to provide. They actually fought us on that, believe it or not. Bereavement leave, family and caretaking leave, and many others. These are not overly costly to EdSource. To be honest, most of these will be rarely used, but when they are needed in case of extreme emergency, it will be extremely appreciated. You know, this is not going to cost EdSource a lot of money, but when it does cost EdSource a lot of money, it'll generate a lot of goodwill with us. They're fighting it. They do not want to give it to us. And I don't get it personally. I do not have a chant this time, so I'm going to kick it off to Malika.
Hi, my name is Malika Shashadri, and I'm a K-12 education reporter focusing on the greater Los Angeles area, including Los Angeles Unified. Since I was a college student, I've been drawn to covering education, and I feel really lucky to be at EdSource, where I can cover a district like LAUSD, where education and child welfare are so linked, and that I get to explore some of those intersections as a reporter. A lot has been going on in the district and LA the past few years, as you all know, from the aftermath of the fires to immigration enforcement, both of which demand a level of rigor, diligence, care, and compassion in reporting. During those same months, though, I was grappling with my own hardships. Last fall, my body, my dearest grandmother who helped raise me, passed away. And 2 weeks after holding her hand as she took her last breath, my dad, her son, was diagnosed with cancer. He began chemotherapy shortly thereafter, and he had surgery over the summer in June. Now, I'm an only child. My parents are divorced, and as someone in my mid-20s, I frankly didn't expect to have to navigate certain medical and bureaucratic realities overnight for the first time. And I needed to be there with him to help with pre- and post-operative care, both at the hospital and at home. EdSource didn't provide any clear guidance, policy, or paid leave for employees caring for family members. But I made the tough and necessary decision to take time off of work anyways. With the hopes of receiving some level of compensation, I spent hours working to understand the process, get the necessary signatures, fill out the paperwork under a tight turnaround, a process I wish EdSource was better able to provide me guidance on. To date, I have not received compensation for the time I was taken off of work from either EdSource or from the state. Despite the financial hit, taking leave was absolutely the right decision. I was able to focus on caring for my dad. I didn't have to worry about filing stories or responding to Slack messages from his bedside. I was able to be present with him and with the doctors as they came in and out. And it was a good thing for my work too. As I mentioned, when dealing with certain topics that are of such a sensitive nature, like immigration and fires, it's so important for us as reporters to be especially present and thorough in our reporting. Put another way, with sensitive stories like these, there are more stakes, and any mishaps can prove more costly. The last thing I would have wanted was to accidentally jeopardize a source or the quality of my work because my heart was elsewhere and I was flitting between realities. By taking leave, I didn't have to compromise the integrity or quality of my work, and I didn't have to compromise my dad's health. We all know that life happens, and when it does, it makes a tremendous difference to have the support of management in taking this critical leave. I know it would have alleviated so much stress in those difficult weeks to have the financial support of EdSource. We believe it is vital that we receive paid leave and the necessary support to make the decisions that are best for our work and for our families. We're insisting that management offer family medical leave so employees in a time of need can focus on caring for their family instead of just paperwork. And I'll toss that back to Danny.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Malika. That gets me every time I hear that story, and I'm very sorry that happened to you. I have a testimonial about salaries here. I don't want to follow that, so I'm just going to rant a little bit about money. I'm sure my colleagues are going to love that. I'm the data journalist. I have a degree in economics. Ironically, I trained to know about money, even though I'm in an industry that hasn't really made any for most of my career. And all that has taught me is that in the time I've been here since 2016, I've pretty much gotten screwed, as everyone else. I came on staff in 2019, and since then, I have functionally taken about a 15% pay cut to stay. I have gotten some very meager raises, but there's also been all-time record inflation. And my paycheck goes much less far. I can buy 15% less stuff. I know I said I'm in Hawaii, and I totally am, but I'll be honest with you. The only reason I can take a vacation is because I'm staying at my aunt's condo, and I racked up a whole bunch of airline miles flying to conferences. And otherwise, I'm just stuck at home. You know, it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet. And the sad part is I am at the top of the current pay scale. I have colleagues. I have absolutely no idea how they survive. I have no idea how they pay their bills. I have colleagues with kids. I have no idea how you pay for a kid when I can barely pay for myself. Our pay proposal is exceedingly fair. When I went into writing it, because of course I'm the math guy, I came in with what I want, and then despite every instinct I had to go a little beyond that, because that's what negotiations are. Like I said earlier, I believe in EdSource. I don't want them to go broke. So I scaled it back to what I thought was reasonable. And they still said no. They still brought it back even further. We added to our proposal multiple raises to make up for raises we didn't get. I don't know if it's an official policy, but it's something I and several other people have been told, that we aren't going to get raises during the bargaining process. We used to get about 4% per year, which again is not enough, but it is something, especially when gas is like $7 a gallon now. And we put in our contract that we want 8%. We want the 4% for the 2 years. If we couldn't get raises during bargaining, then we want it after bargaining, right? That seems perfectly fair. That was rejected outright. You know, all these very reasonable things that let us pay our bills, right? I'm engaged. I have a wedding next April. Don't worry, I'll send you the registry link. You can send gifts later. I don't know how I'm going to pay for that. You know how much weddings cost? And here I am making less and less every year because inflation's going through the roof. I can barely fill my car up with gas. And again, I'm at the top. I feel like a jerk complaining because there's people who I work with who are doing so much worse. All we want is fair pay. All we want is to pay, you know, the only pay we want is what's fair, what's a modest, comfortable living in the area where we live, in the area where we cover. And we have made some progress, but we are nowhere near that. You know, I want to stay in this business. I want to stay at EdSource, and they have to make that possible for me. I'll cut myself off now. I'll fire the stream back up later. Don't worry, I have the keys. I can rant at you for hours. I've got the day off now. But I will kick it to Emma Gallegos, who will talk about something else.
Same thing. I'm going to continue the rant for you. Hi, I'm Emma Gallegos, and I'm co-vice chair of our unit along with Danny. And when I came to work for EdSource in 2022, I was really excited to work for an organization that not only allowed me to cover education in my hometown, Bakersfield, but also had a strong commitment to equity. In fact, my title is actually Equity Reporter. Thanks to the transparency of our union, I learned that I am currently on the losing end of wide gender and racial disparities at EdSource. I'm paid the same or less than colleagues of mine who have a full decade less experience than I do. It's disappointing, and it undermines everything we claim to value as an organization, covering educational equity. And frankly, it seems to be a violation of the law. The only way I make ends meet right now is by living with my mother in Bakersfield. And I love her dearly. She's here with me right now. But I want to move out. But the prospect of moving out, it gives me panic attacks. I look at apartments online all the time, and the math just does not work out. I can't pay for basic necessities and save for retirement and pay rent. And it's really embarrassing to feel like I'm stuck living at home in my 40s. My colleagues are also struggling. One had his rent go up by $800 a month. When I hear stories like that, that really freaks me out. Others have to pay for groceries and other supplies on credit cards because their salaries don't make ends meet. And I know that none of us have had raises, as Danny said, that have kept up with the cost of living. It's time for management to act. And I'm going to leave you guys in a chat. Defend our journalists. Defend our journalism. Defend our
journalists.
Defend our journalism.
Our journalism.
Defend our
Defend our
journalists.
journalists.
Defend our journalism. Defend our journalists. Defend our journalism.
Defend
Journalists. Defend our journalism.
Defend.
Guys, turn it back over to Danny.
Don't worry, I'm not talking again. When I said I'm not formal Daniel J. Willis, I meant it. There's going to be a lot of asides, and I apologize in advance. It's very early here. A few of our other colleagues will speak about some of our other proposals. So take it away, LaSherica.
Yeah, so I'm LaSherica Thornton, and I cover California's Central Valley region. We created our union by democratic vote, and we want new hires to be in the union as well. Management won't agree to ensuring that all jobs that perform the same kind of work we are currently doing remain union jobs. We need to protect our positions. What is keeping management from displacing our jobs with non-union workers under different titles?
And I'm back to speak briefly on the need to protect and support early career workers rather than pushing them out. EdSource is also pushing for the ability to fire journalism residents, our one-year residency program for early career reporters. That's with or without cause or notice at any moment. I was initially hired about 6 years ago as a resident early in the pandemic. Knowing I could be fired at any moment was an extremely scary proposition. Employers should be focusing on encouraging workers' growth, not limiting their rights. Hand it back to Oakland, to Thomas.
We cannot hear you in Oakland.
We're not talking yet. Hold one
Wait.
moment.
Uh-oh, you know what that means? That means it's time for me to talk.
No,
I'm
we're
just kidding.
getting
Don't
ready.
worry. I'm kidding. Don't worry.
Okay.
Layoffs are the reality of the news business. We've seen newsrooms shrink in the past couple of decades, shrink drastically. And it's a way of, it's the typical staff reduction. We're looking for some protections with layoffs and better severance in layoffs than management has proposed. What's on the table right now is nowhere near enough for management for somebody to be able to survive post EdSource and find another journalism job in California. We need much better layoff provisions than management has proposed. We have a chant. We can have a layoff chant, please.
No, but do you want to just talk about how difficult it is and people get laid off?
Right. I mean, I've worked in newsrooms and seen people just there one day and gone another. After these big times won a Pulitzer in 2017, we saw people laid off a week later. People who had been on the Pulitzer winning team is gone. It's incredibly difficult right now to live in Northern California or anywhere in California with the absolutely rising cost of living, cost of housing, rampant inflation, cost of gasoline. And to get a paltry layoff severance is nowhere near enough. And one of the things that we're talking with management about is we think they are putting too many holds on or want effectively non-disclosure agreements and gag orders with any layoff segment or any layoff payment. We're journalists. We like to tell people what we know. And frankly, gag orders in journalism are onerous, to say the least. And we think it's completely unfair to tell a journalist they can't talk about their former employer or their working conditions. We need a much better, sounder, and more generous layoff proposal from management.
Now we're going to hand it to Annie Shaka, president of the Pacific Media Workers Guild.
Hi, everyone. Got some notes here. Annie Shaka, president of Pacific Media Workers Guild, a local of the News Guild, of which EdSource is a part. Today is historic. This is the first strike in the Pacific Media Workers Guild since 1994. The EdSource Guild is launching our local into a new era. And they're not alone. Across the News Guild, we're seeing workers mobilize like we haven't seen in a generation. That's not a coincidence, and it's not a small thing. It's workers recognizing their power and using it to change their conditions for the better. And let's be clear about what's at stake. This country has watched news coverage decline, newsrooms hollow out, beats disappear, and that didn't happen by accident. It happened because of management decisions that degraded the working conditions of journalists. So when we rally around our demands, when we insist in a real say in the work that we pour ourselves into every day, that's not selfish. That's about the integrity of journalism itself. The conditions we work under are the conditions readers receive the news under. Being a working journalist means the person who helps make the whole operation run. The reporters chasing the story, the photographers in the field, the web producers, data journalists, the editors, everyone holding it together. Management doesn't produce the journalism, we do. The work flows through our hands, our eyes, our judgment, our care, and for that, we demand a role in shaping the conditions we do it under. That is not a big ask, that is the bare minimum. We hold the public trust on one side and a business on the other, and we live in that tension every day. That's exactly why our voice in this process matters. And EdSource is not standing alone today. Workers from across our local are tuning in. I can hear it. Here to support along with the city of Oakland. They're showing up, they're sending support, because an injury to one is an injury to all of us. And a win for EdSource in this case is a win for every newsroom in our local. My colleague Kevin says it best, and he says it often, that it takes a lot of work to fix work. And the only reason any of this is happening is because they care, because we care. The workers of EdSource care so deeply about the journalism that they do that they're willing to walk out today to protect it. They're not trying to tear this place down. They're trying to make it the best journalism outlet it can possibly be, and a place where they can build a career and stay for the long haul. And that's why we're gathered here to support today. Thank you to EdSource Guild, and we have your back.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
If anyone was late, we just want to remind everybody why we're here. The EdSource Guild was recognized almost a year and a half ago. We have been bargaining for more than 9 months, and we still don't have a fair contract offer from management. Instead, EdSource changed our health benefits unilaterally during a period of status quo, effectively raising our co-pays and deductibles, and failed to bargain over the changes with the Guild. They're required to do so by law. They denied cost of living raises that match how much prices go up. They opposed adequate sick time for employees to take care of ourselves and our families. They rejected strong leave of absence policies, leaving journalists unaware or uninformed of our options and depriving us of sufficient time to bond with newborns or care for ill parents. They have insisted on weak legal protections that put both reporters and sources at risk. So anyone who cares about journalism and the freedom of the press should be standing with us today. They ignored proposals to ensure that artificial intelligence is not deployed in a way that affects the integrity of our journalism. I'd like to lead you all in another chant. Fair contract now. Fair contract now. Fair contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair contract now. Fair contract now.
Okay, I believe we are back to me. But sorry, I just messed something up. Okay, we are actually back to me. I would like to open the floor to any of our union siblings who would like to say anything. Either raise your hand, or we're all very formal here. Feel free to jump in if no one else does. Otherwise, I'll start talking again. I swear to God, I'll do it. Mac, you are
Don't
up.
threaten me with a good time, Danny. Hi, this is Mac Glacken, pronouns they, them. I think I might be one of your newest PMWG siblings. I'm over at Clean Water Action, Clean Water Fund with the Clean Water Guild, and we just unionized back in April. I am honored and gratified to be participating in support of your strike. And I look forward to taking action alongside y'all many times in the future.
Thank you very much, and welcome. Really appreciate it, and a very good move to unionize. Everyone should be in a union. Is there anyone else? We have someone from Cal Matters.
Hello, my name is Adriana Heldies. I am part of the UC unit at the Cal Matters and the Markup union. Just wanted to say that we stand in solidarity with you guys and we support you throughout this process. Yeah, so thank you so much for having us, and let us know if we can help in any way.
Thank you. We really appreciate the support.
All right, here's Richard Nee.
Oh, hello.
Good afternoon. I am Richard Nee. Along with Bill Snyder, I co-chair the Guild's freelance unit. And our unit is rock solid in our commitment to supporting our staff unit brothers and sisters. If there is a strike anywhere, we encourage our members to walk the picket line, and we work to alert freelancers across the country they should not scab, physically, electronically, or by any other means. Solidarity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't think the Freelancers Union gets enough credit. I was a member for a few years, and it's a really good
more.
Who else we got? Anyone on the street?
Yeah.
I'm Michael Cabanatuan, and I am on the board of the Pacific Media Workers Guild. I am also the regional vice president for the News Guild. And first of all, I want to let you know that the News Guild is in full support of this and will do what we need to help you get a decent contract. And I don't just say this as a union officer, but as a reader. I've been reading EdSource since it started, way back in the day when it was a tiny little publication. And I know I have friends who are teachers, friends who are school administrators. Everybody depends on EdSource for education news in California. I mean, even Governor Jerry Brown, when he was governor, said that it was his primary source of news about education. So I want everyone to boycott EdSource today. Don't log on. And once this strike is over, which would be tomorrow, want everyone to read EdSource and to express support for the people who produce it and are on strike.
There was a request to pan the crowd. So you don't, so.
It's a great turnout. Thank you to everyone there. When I was out front, there weren't that many people. I'm trying not to take that personally. Would anyone else like to say anything? The floor is open. The floor is yours.
Hey, I'm Janita Lyman with also Pacific Media Workers Guild. We're with Embarcadero Media Company. I think one of my colleagues from a fellow East Bay outlet is here as well, Christian. We both work for the Pleasanton Weekly. And yeah, we've been in this process for a long time. We're in bargaining right now, and I just want to give you my support and say thank you guys for bringing all of these issues that seem to be a lot of them seem to be kind of across all units and across all contracts. So appreciate you bringing it out into the open. And yeah, excited to see this moment in Pacific Media Workers Guild history.
Thank you very much. And of course, I think I speak for everyone at the EdSource Guild. All our union siblings out there, we support you as well. Reach out if you need us. We're right here for you, just like you're right here for us. That's what solidarity is. I can't see who's here. So I'm sorry if everyone who is here has said something. Like I said, I'm not much of a planner in the best of cases. And now I'm on vacation. Have we got anything else?
Wants to speak again.
Okay.
Speaking as the unit co-chair alongside Sadie, I just want to make it very clear, we're not backing down from this. We're not going anyplace. It's been a year and a half since we were recognized. During that time, wages have been frozen. I don't have to explain to everybody what that means in this rampant age of inflation. That we've asked for effectively raises that would help make up for the money we've lost in the last 18 months. And to say the least, we are far apart from management on economics in this contract, along with other matters. We are not going anyplace. We are not going to fold. We get stronger every time we have a rally. We get more supporters. We have more supporters today than we had in a rally a couple of weeks ago at the same location outside EdSource's Oakland office. And we will be back here again when we need to. Guaranteed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peel. Very well said. And I don't say that lightly. He and I go way back, and I'm not known for saying nice things to his face. You know what? I'm jumping in. While everyone else can decide if they want to talk, I'm saying something. I've been posting the TikTok, Instagram Reels because I think I'm young. And one thing that I think deserves to be said is, for me personally, during this process, I think what has been very frustrating is that I have just felt that the union isn't being taken as seriously as we should. I don't feel like we're being treated as equal partners in the operation of EdSource. When we go to the bargaining table right now, there is not a single EdSource employee across from us. It is two contractors, neither one of whom with any decision-making power, which means when we go to the bargaining table, before we can strike any sort of agreement, they need to go back to people who can make the decision. And I'll tell you, it's a little bit insulting to be at a bargaining table with people who are not authorized to fully bargain, people who cannot speak to what is and isn't acceptable. And I've said it before, and it's been said here, the changes to our health plan, where status quo was ignored, where legal responsibilities were ignored, really drove home to me that I just don't know that management sees us as partners. I don't know that management sees us as equals. And I think that that is going to make this process continue to be difficult, because it's hard to negotiate with someone who thinks they can tell you what to do, but you can't tell them. Is there anyone else? And that's not just outside. At this point, I'll open it up. If any of my colleagues, I know you've got some time on your hands today. If anyone else wants to go off, by all means, don't let me be the only one talking.
I don't know if you all can see me, but I just want to say I agree with Danny. It is very difficult to negotiate when the other party is not actually sitting at the table with us. And I would like to urge management to come to the table with fair proposals, actually engage with us on our proposals, and to stop ignoring us and stop pretending like we don't exist. We exist, and we're here at EdSource because we care about EdSource, because we care about EdSource journalism, and we want to keep making EdSource better and make EdSource journalism better. And the way to do that is to support your journalists. And that's all.
Thank you very much. To someone on Twitch, the rally in Oakland is right across from the Fox Theater. Look for a bunch of people with signs across the street. Wait, no, someone just said something on Twitch, so I could finally say this and mean it. Hey, chat. Like and subscribe. Anyway, thank you, Mo. If no one else has anything, the picketers have some picketing to do. I have a beach right across the street from me, and the rest of us have some being on strike to handle. If you are in the Zoom, Kevin just put the petition in chat that to tell EdSource management that you are not crossing our picket line. If you are on any of the streaming platforms, then look for it in our bio. I believe everywhere we're streaming that you can find a link tree with all the information you need. And if not, hit us up. What have I got to do today? I'm happy to respond. Thank you all so much for coming. Please follow us. Instagram. Oh, thank you. Nina, please email or text or something. I am running 6 different windows. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you use that. Not really my scene. I'm wearing a tie-dye shirt, but you do you. And thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. And I would like to end with one more chant. It is what it says right up here. Fair contract now. Is everyone ready? Fair contract now.
Contract now.
Fair
contract now.
Fair contract now.
Fair
contract
now.
Fair
contract
contract
now.
now.
Fair contract now.
Thank you very much. I am ending the stream. Thank you guys. We're going to stay on Zoom a little bit if you want to chat in the privacy of, I don't know, in front of everyone on Zoom. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Solidarity forever.
Recording stopped.